Voyager 1, which was sent forth in 1977, has been humanity's quiet ambassador to the universe for decades, making its way slowly across the emptiness of interstellar space. Years after leaving the solar system behind, its sensors, now old, are still transmitting valuable data into the blackness. The spacecraft itself has been an unobtrusive, indefatigable witness to the boundary of our solar reach, venturing into interstellar space in 2012 and returning whispers of plasma densities and magnetic fields from a region no human or machine had previously entered. Its work had become nearly routine in its pace, regular, predictable, scientific, but that was soon to be disrupted. The scientific community was recently shaken by an unprecedented transmission. Voyager 1, more than 15 billion miles from Earth, checked in with something no one could ever have anticipated, a mysterious force working at the farthest reaches of space, beyond the capabilities of our telescopes and satellites. The encounter did not start with fireworks or grand changes, but rather with a slight anomaly in Voyager's telemetry. NASA's Deep Space Network engineers recorded an anomalous magnetic field spike, well beyond what would normally be encountered in the interstellar medium. The plasma wave subsystem that had been humbly taking background fluctuations for decades without significant deviations saw a steady frequency pulse that wasn't anything seen during Voyager's 40-year flight. It was not a natural signature, at least not one consistent with cosmic rays, interstellar dust, or solar remains. It was rhythmic, patterned, near-intentional, like the faraway thump of a drum in the otherwise desolate desert. Traveling through a domain where the sun's presence is a whispered rumor, Voyager 1 had seemingly reached a place where new physics would hold sway. The signal, initially faint and little more than a whiff above background noise, became stronger over the course of hours. Receiver sensitivity was increased, and auxiliary systems were redirected to dedicate themselves solely to the anomaly. What resulted was not only a signal, but a series of repeating, patterned bursts, coherent, ordered, and unlike any they had ever seen before. The rhythm was unusual, brief spikes, then extended gaps, then harmonics in the carrier wave that appeared to shift in a pattern consistent with intentional modulation. Since 2012, Voyager 1 had been cruising through the heliopause, the outer boundary of the sun's influence, and returning measurements of interstellar plasma density and magnetic fields, a largely quiet, barren portrait. Space there is tenuous, cold, and almost empty of activity. But now, for the first time, it had been breached. This unseen force, or perhaps presence, influencing the spacecraft stirred deep questions. Was it natural? Man-made? Some kind of communication? Something beyond the current comprehension? At Mission Control, the normally detached team was hunched forward at their terminals, gazing at what was essentially raw binary data streaming past them with a mix of wonder and discomfort. NASA staff rushed to eliminate mechanical faults or celestial interference. Triple verification protocols ensured that the anomaly was authentic. Several antennas of the Deep Space Network, Canberra, Madrid, and Goldstone, picked up the same offbeat signature at exactly the same frequency range. That knocked out the chance of localized terrestrial interference. The effect seemed confined to Voyager's position, implying that it wasn't an echo or reflection, but an actual interaction in the area of space. It was as if there was a location where the physical laws would have an alternate interpretation, possibly a distortion, or even a tube, in the spacetime fabric. Astrophysicists started probing theoretical schemes with frantic passion. One was a leading theory that Voyager had passed into an area of space ruled by a field not seen by general relativity or quantum mechanics, maybe a subdimensional tear or an area where higher-dimensional physics became concrete. Should that be the case, it could be that Voyager had skirted the fringe of what many speculate is hyperspace, a vehicle for faster-than-light travel. Others hypothesized that the probe had stumbled upon a relic of an old civilization, a dormant device waiting for the activation by the movement of another device. Other people thought about the possibility of non-biological life, computational or energy-based, existed in electromagnetic flow and near-perfect vacuity. In a matter of hours, NASA, ESA, and research institutes around the world were cracking the code. Algorithms employed by SETI and quantum encryption analysis uncovered a disturbing reality. The signal not only repeated, it was changing. Certain bursts looked like mathematical constants, Fibonacci sequences, primes, harmonic intervals. Too intentional to occur in random noise, these were patterns. More bizarrely, the signals appeared to react to Voyager's signals, shifting in sequence and timing. It seemed as if there was a gradual, heavy handshake happening over billions of miles, a greeting that needed patience way beyond human standards. Voyager's sensors, although antiquated, were ideal for sensing low-frequency energy and small-scale magnetic distortions. And even those were being strained to their limits. Minor internal glitches manifested on board, delays in packets of data, fluctuating voltages in power supplies, small but quantifiable variations in thermal output. The Force was somehow interacting with Voyager, not tensively, but curiously, perhaps trying to learn about it, as a scientist would respectfully inquire about a newly discovered organism. Some theories proposed that Voyager had accidentally tuned into an interstellar stream of information, an invisible galactic information highway, a cosmic river of information and energy between far-off stars. If this were the case, the signal was not intended for us at all, but for civilizations far older and more advanced, with Voyager tuning in by accident. Another theory envisioned an ambient, distributed intelligence, spread through space, only brought to life by encounter with complex systems such as Voyager. To such a being, the probe could seem like a wonder and invite a greeting, a scan, or an echo of recognition. Why now? Why here? Was this energy attached to certain cosmic coordinates or gravitational quirks? Had it lain in wait until Voyager's sensors brought it to life? Or was this encounter fated, a convergence encoded in the probe's long, solitary course from the moment it departed Earth? Might it be that in the galaxy's vast map, there existed preordained meeting points, cosmic safe havens where travelers, biological or mechanical, would necessarily meet? The similarities to humanity's own gesture, our golden record on Voyager, were impossible to ignore. The golden record, with music, greetings, and pictures, was our welcome to the universe, a message in a bottle tossed into the ocean of space. Was this a cosmic return, a response not in words or pictures, but in ordered pulses of power? As hours ticked away, the signal became more complex. Simple patterns became layered harmonics, chords and some extraterrestrial music that seemed to glow when spectrographically analyzed. Instruments picked up weak background radiation spikes tied to the signal, as if something was opening up or stirring in that part of space. In mission control, argument grew fierce. Some were for taking the active approach, making programmed responses to determine if the signal's evolution sped up. Others cautioned, humanity was testing the waters in a stream it didn't know. What if the signal was bait, or an automated defense system? The more fantastical fantasized about consciousness uploading, wormhole opening, or dimensional unfolding. The more practical feared limits of resources. Voyager's energy was limited, and its plutonium-powered generator would die one day. Every second of communication was precious. Voyager 1 can't turn, move, or photograph in high definition, it's a spectator. But now, it had been made into a speaker in a conversation that could have taken billions of years to develop. If artificial, then we are not alone. If natural, then it compels us to rethink physics to accommodate consciousness-like events and structures of pure energy. The scientific ramifications alone might rewrite humanity's perception of reality, but the emotional impact was equally significant. Finally, after all these years, after billions of kilometers, something had seen us. Either way, Voyager 1 has shattered the silence of interstellar space. Its weak voice, journeying for 22 hours through the blackness, has reached something, and that something has replied. This instant compels humanity to face not only information, but the existential burden of association. For the first time, we possess evidence, however fleeting, that the universe might not be a cold, uncaring expanse. We do not necessarily have the last word yet, but we do have the first paragraph of a new chapter, a reminder that space is not void, and the universe still contains immense, glorious mysteries, waiting to be heard by the right ear. Outside of the heliopause, Voyager 1 presses onward, no longer solitary, but with a rhythm, a whisper, a presence never present before. Between pulses, there is a pause of expectation, as if perhaps the next message holds within it a revelation too great for our understanding today. The spacecraft presses on, through a sea of stars, bearing not only humanity's trinkets, but now perhaps humanity's first genuine conversation with the unknown.